As the chair for the Nānākuli Ma'ili Neighborhood Board, I'm calling this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, March 18th, 7 p.m. We are meeting in person at the Nānākuli Public Library and virtually via WebEx. These neighborhood board meetings is a monthly open forum between government representatives, elected officials, and members of the community. Members of the public have the right to submit testimony on any and all agenda items. We have a sign-in sheet at the table here, along with other materials that we'll be going over for the day. If you'd like to go ahead and sign in and pick up some material. Rules of speaking, if anyone wishes to speak, I'll ask that in-person attendees line up at the microphone, and those joining us on WebEx, please raise your virtual hand. When recognized by the chair, state your name clearly for the minutes. Comments must be kept under 2 minutes. Official monthly reports under 3 minutes and presenters under 10 minutes. Sergeant at Arms will be keeping time, so please end your comments when the timer goes off. The purpose of our neighborhood board plan 213-101 is to increase and assure effective citizen participation in the decisions of government. So to open our meeting tonight, I would like to ask our board member Gary Shinsato to open us with Pule.
Bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we just praise you and thank you for this day and come together, share ideas. We just ask that you grant us the Holy Spirit with understanding, grace. Everyone has their opinions and their stories to tell. We just pray that you be ever mindful to have them tell their story. And we just pray that you be with Uncle Vic as he's going to announce his retirement. And we just pray that his glorious career was a successful one, which we feel it is. And we just pray that in his retirement, he can do whatever he wants. And the blessings of our Father be with him. We just praise you and thank you for all that you do for us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. So we do have 2 agenda items that we're going to take out of order. So I'd like to entertain the motion to move agenda items 5I up under City Emergency and First Responder Monthly Reports. So 5I, Navy Representative Joel Felipe and Victor Flint will be moved up to item C under City Emergency and First Responder Monthly Reports. Do I have a motion on the floor?
I move that just the agenda 2000 for today. In regards to the
Okay, motion made by Board Member Ayo, second made by Board Member Myers. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries. And an additional agendized item with the Honolulu Ocean Safety Department Representative Kelly, who's present tonight to give an update, will also be added to the item 2 City Emergency First Responder Monthly Reports as letter D. I entertain the motion. The motion is to add Honolulu Ocean Safety Department to today's agenda with the Representative Kelly. Motion made by Myers, seconded by Fong. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. 1 nay. Motion carries. Thank you. We will move on with our agenda. City Emergency First Responder Monthly Reports. The Honolulu Fire Department. Any online? None. We'll move on to the next item, B, Honolulu Police Department. Online.
Hello, Madam Chair, board members, members of the community, Corporal Pego, Nānākuli Police Department, District 8 Community Policing Team. With me tonight is Lieutenant Marino Carrera, as well as Sergeant Fumi Moroka. And I do have your stats for February. In February, we had 23 motor vehicle thefts, 5 in our area, 23 burglaries, 2 in our area, 120 thefts, 18 in our area, 26 unauthorized entries into a motor vehicle, 8 in our area. There's a total of 7,449 calls for service, 1,322 in our area. The only other thing I wanted to mention is that on March 26th, next week, Wednesday, Kuhio Day, the District 8 Community Policing Team will be doing a homeless outreach at Uliava Beach Park by pump station. We'll be feeding some of the homeless as well as trying to get them to speak with some of the social workers and outreach workers that will be coming out with us. Anyone that wants to assist and provide either food or meals or any outreach that wants to come out, please feel free. We're going to be out there about 9 o'clock in the morning till about 3 o'clock. The other thing was this Saturday, I'm sorry. We have the Prince Kuhio Festival at Nānākuli Beach Park that we're going to be attending. I'm sure someone will be talking about that. And then next week, Saturday on the 29th, we'll be participating and assisting with the Kuhio Day Parade in the Kapolei area. Other than that, I'm open to any comments, questions, or concerns.
Any questions from the community for HPD? From community? We have one online. You can unmute. Patty Kahana Mokuteria.
Okay, hi, aloha everyone. Thank you, District 8, Mr. Pagan, and thank you for announcing the Prince Kuhio Festival this Saturday. We appreciate HPD and CPT participating, and your Lieutenant Marino and all your team there this Saturday. But my question, I wanted to ask HPD, this Saturday on the 15th, there were and I'm not sure what happened, but I know that there are numerous police officers that went into the Nānākuli Ranch in the evening, and I assume it was, I'm not sure if it was gunshots or something happened. Can you, and it's on Hawaiian homelands, do you know anything that happened on the Nānākuli Ranch on Saturday on the 15th of this past weekend?
I apologize. No, I do not. I'm not sure if Lieutenant Carrera or Sergeant Moroka may have a little bit of information about that. I have no idea about what happened up there. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hi,
Sergeant
Patty.
Fumi, nobody?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, thank you.
So I did talk to David Hope from the Hawaiian Homelands Security, and he asked me about that. I looked up all the incidents over the weekend, and I also talked to the major and captain, and they weren't aware of any incidents over the weekend. I looked at all the incidents in Nānākuli as well, and I didn't see anything at the ranch or anywhere in our district that was that pertained to anything like that. So I suggested to David to maybe check with the federal law enforcement, and he said that he was going to check. But yeah, as far as HPD, we didn't have anything that was described. So yeah, I'm not sure.
All right, maybe it was ice, I don't know. But and then the other thing closing, thank you, Madam Chair and Board. The other thing closing is that I'm not sure if gaming is always is a concern, and it's brought up again. There is major activity on Mohihi Street. A lot of the residents are going through some really awful people walking around that area, and they notice there's a active game room in Mohihi Street. So maybe I can provide you the address and photographs offline. I'd like to do that, and because it's a quiet community, and and so they had a couple of weirdos walking around that were, they caught on camera that was going into their fence line. So there is concerns when there's always illegal activity and gaming in the community. But thank you very much. Thank you for all you do, Madam Chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have a community Question for HPD. Approach might state your name, please.
Aloha, blessed star, Dela Cruz. I have two questions actually, and mahalo to HPD for all their hard work. My question is, are you able to get the stats from Mike Lambert? I know there's different departments and everything, but are you able to provide the stats to the community as well as the neighborhood board in regards to game room and illegal crimes or homes? And also as for ISIS, they're here and they've been entering in the Hawaiian homelands. Are you able to get the stats from them as well so the community are aware of what's going on within?
In regards to the stats for ICE, that's a federal agency, so we don't have access to their information. You guys can probably ask the governor's rep to see if he might be able to get you some of that information. In regards to the narcotics and the stats from our narcotics division, again, the stats that we provide are department-wide, standardized throughout the island. Everything else can be located on the honolulupd.org website. And people can get the information there. Again, we try not to do this kind of stuff because what happens every time we go to a board meeting, somebody wants another stat. And I don't have the manpower for them to go through 77 different requests for different types of stats. So because of that, we standardize the stats that we can actually monitor and check to see if there's any type of trends. That's what we kind of work on. As far as the gambling and stuff like that, again, that can be obtained from the honolulupd.org website. The Honolulu Police Department works hard to keep that updated, so we do try to direct people to that.
Mahalo for that clarification. And thank you for your department for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the community? Seeing none, any questions from the board? Board Member Ayo?
Yes, yes. Good evening, Roland. This is the question I was going to ask you on Friday when we had the military meeting, community engagement meeting. The only thing I wanted to know is, have District 8, Couple A, have they identified the teenager that was pointing the gun in Couple A? That was on Instagram. I got the Instagram. There was a fight in Couple A. I don't know whether it was lunch hour or after school. Asian kid pulled out a gun and he was pointing it at one of the fighters in the fight. And somebody saw the gun, so they told the kid to get away from the area. That's the only thing I got. If you folks can identify who that teenager was.
Thanks, Paul. I don't have his name. I know he did get turned in. He turned himself in with his family the next day. I believe it was on the news. They posted on the news. Unfortunately, I don't have his name offhand. But I'm sure if you checked online, you'll be able to get the information. It wasn't a juvenile. It was a 19-year-old that was in the area, and it was allegedly a replica or a BB gun type of situation. So I know the case is still being investigated. So I don't have anything other than the fact that I know that the person was turned in and arrested. I'm not sure if he was charged, and he was identified.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions from the board? Thank you, HPD. Have a great night. Next on the agenda, we have Navy Representative Joel Felipe and Victor Flint.
Right. Well, wow, this is a treat. We never get to go in the beginning. Everyone's usually gone by the time we speak. And I guess I'm surprising you guys for being here today. There's a reason for it. But first, we'll talk about what I have on the board. Last week, Friday, as Uncle Paul mentioned, we went to the Waianae Moku Kapuna Council. Again, this was last week, Friday, March 14th at the Waianae Hongwanjin. I think I may have pronounced it wrong. I'm not sure. So we addressed community requests, West Side emergency planning, response and recovery, as well as request and expand access to cultural sites. There's some photos, many of us also attended there. I'm not in the photo because I was actually taking the pictures. We can move on to the next slide. So this is something that I addressed to all of you back in December. And so this is the Lu'ulu'ule cultural access. So all of you guys are able to go to Lu'alu'ulei, but you just be sure to email jbphhcommerl@us.navy.mil at least 30 days prior to your proposed visit. So for example, Auntie Lynette is actually working on coming to Lu'alu'ulei to do some cultural practices in March 28th. So more details on that. And then last slide, please. So I'm here today because I just didn't feel it was right to say a hui hou to Uncle Vic virtually. So I wanted to be here in person. So moving forward, please contact me. My contact is all in the bottom, the email, my office, call only. It's kind of old, the phone, so I cannot look at the voicemails or see who the caller ID is. But my personal cell phone is up there. You can call or text me. And I just want to say I have a picture of Uncle Vic over there, and you can see that's on Lu'alu'ulei. And we are standing on a bridge. And again, I just want to emphasize that we're here to build bridges. So please help me help you. Give me the materials to help you. Give me the wood, the materials, the nails, so we can build this bridge together. And so let's all be heard. I'm here for you guys, and I've only been with the Navy for 9 months. So I'm still trying to learn how they function, and I want to bring it to you guys as well. So I may not have the authority to answer at the moment, but I will do the most that I can with the limitations that I have. And I do want to ask ho manava nui, so patience. Please be patient with me, as Uncle Vic has more knowledge than the amount of years I've been breathing. So again, please, he has so much more to share and to hold. So please, I'm trying to learn, and I want to be here for you guys. And I'll move it on to Uncle Vic to say.
You guys are in good hands. Board, legislative leaders, community. After 50 years of government service, I announced my retirement. I thank the board and our legislative leaders for your service to the community. I thank my wife, Carol Pelikai, for putting up with me for all these years through the fire department, retiring from that, and finally retiring from naval facilities. In the old days, they called us Public Works. I'm honored and humbled that you allowed me, and now Jewel, to be a part of the journey to work solutions. And boy, did we work plenty. I listed them. We can always talk about it later. And folks, I'm as far away as the phone. So with that, I say to you all, aloha and hui hou kako. See you guys at Sack and Save. Bye-bye.
So I have a certificate actually from the neighborhood board, Uncle Victor Flint. I'm going to go ahead and read it as you say your farewells. Can I read this to you? So this is a certificate of recognition from the Nānākuli Ma'ili Neighborhood Board. This certificate is awarded to Victor Flint in recognition of your exceptional service and unwavering dedication as a representative of the United States Navy for the Nānākuli Ma'ili Neighborhood Board. You are a key advocate for the NAD Road Dust Mitigation Project, working to improve air quality and reduce dust-related concerns for residents. Your leadership in Mikilua Flood Mitigation Project helped address flooding risks and improve infrastructure resilience. You played an essential role in the Kolekole Pass Road Huaka'i and road upgrade, ensuring improved access and safety for the community. Additionally, you were instrumental in the WCEAR project, transforming an emergency road into a 24/7 Farrington Highway bypass road to alleviate traffic congestion and provide an alternative route for residents. Your commitment to environment preservation was evident in your successful efforts to stop the eWind project, which would have placed 60 wind turbines, each 300 feet tall, on the Waianae Ridge, protecting natural landscapes and cultural integrity in the area. You also contributed significantly to the Waianae Watershed Management Partnership, helping to safeguard water resources and promote responsible land stewardship. Your support for Ma'o Farms operations on NAD Road has strengthened local agriculture and youth development programs. Furthermore, your involvement to the Leeward Wildfire Management Program has enhanced fire prevention and response efforts to protect regions, natural resources, and residential areas. Your vision and leadership have inspired many, and your contributions will continue to influence our collective efforts for years to come. Congratulations on your retirement after 50 years of dedicated service. Your commitment and sacrifices have left a long-lasting legacy, and your impact will be felt for generations to come. On behalf of the Nānākuli Ma'ili Neighborhood Board and the residents we serve, we extend our deepest gratitude for your service. You'll be greatly missed, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Mahalo nui, Victor Flynn. And we're going to take a quick recess. Thank you. Recess. Meeting called to order. Next on our agenda, we have Honolulu Ocean Safety Department. Kelly, please approach the mic. Introduce yourself. This is set to be a standing committee agenda item monthly.
Thank you, Nānākuli Board, for having me here. My name's Kelly Crone. I've been working for Honolulu Ocean Safety since 1988 on the Leeward Coast. I'm going to give you the stats for the month of February. This is just covering from Kai Point to Nānākuli, Depot's Beach Park. We had 155,167 visitors and people on our beach for just the month of February. We did over 23,000 preventions, and we had 21 rescues. At Tower 40, our new tower just opened about a year ago. That is Kai Point Electric Beach. One scuba diver in distress, 3 monk seal sightings, 1 case of HPD helping us. Someone was harassing one of our lifeguards, and 1 stolen car for that month. Tower 41, Nānākuli, we had female that required medical assistance. We got her to the ambulance, everything was fine. Tower 42, across the street, Depots, we had another female fall in the parking lot and required medical assistance. She's fine now. And the last one was by Freedom Gas Station. We had a small beach fire by the gas station. That's our stats for February. Again, thank you for guys having us here. We're a brand new department. We just started, and we're still working on getting everything set up in our department. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions from the community? One online, please unmute. Johnny Mae Perry.
Thank you, Chair. I'm just curious how you get the numbers, how you collect the numbers.
All our lifeguards do daily log sheets, and then they are tallied twice a month, and they're entered into a database, so we keep an eye on all the stats.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Seeing none, thank you so much for your report.
Thank you again, guys.
Moving on to resident community concerns. Residents and community concerns, please approach the mic, state your name.
Hello, my kako, Shelby Billionaire, live for all of you. We just came from the building, from the Capitol building, and I want to give you the report. So it's more like solutions so we can work together. Last time I was here, I was talking, we have the same meeting for education and housing in Waianae right now. We're supposed to be working on the SRO that Uncle Paul wrote, but it's time. How do we do it when they're having the meeting here? Salcidos are there. The good news is we are passing bills through in the square building. We have Duke Pia's law was SB 1249. We had two bills with David Tarnas. That's the same guy who said yes to the religious medical exemptions. So if you guys don't know the law, Duke Pia Cranston died. He was assassinated in his house in Macau in front of his mom by underage punk kids with high-powered rifles, and he was assassinated. When he's dead, I'm so sorry, they're in heaven. There is already a law to protect in case someone tries to rape, rob, or kidnap you and you feel your life is endangered. That's protected under the HRS 703-304. However, criminals do not follow these laws. And we want to honor Duke's life because we says when you die, there's two times. One physically and second when people forget you. Those words moved David Tarnas to approve it. So we're going to go moving on to the finance committee. Hopefully become this a law to protect all farmers and ranchers for everybody out there. The second thing I want to report to you, I found out today, I have unclaimed property from the state of Hawaii. When you check out the state of Hawaii budget finance, they owe me like $280, almost $300. And so I put other people's names, such as Senator DeCourt's name, they owe her $200. They owe Rep. Chris Moroka money as well. So I called, I went to the office. So they might owe you guys money too. You can claim it. What you do, if you don't know where it is, it's in the Art Museum building on the 3rd floor. So whatever money they owed by the state of Hawaii, you have to print out a notary for $50 or more. And then you get it signed. You can send a PO box or you can go physically and you can get the money back from the state of Hawaii. Chee-hoo. Thank you very much. And I'm inspired by Flint and all of his hard work. I do not have my camera today. It's in the Salcido's car in that meeting. So I'm going to learn from him and I'm going to say, a hooey ho, I'm retired for tonight. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good night. Chee-hoo.
Thank you. Any further questions from the community? Seeing one online, Johnny May Perry, please unmute.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say, you know, the HHL have a lingering history of wait lists over 40 years. There was a joint meeting today at the Capitol, Housing and Hawaiian Affairs. And people voted against it. You know, I always hear in people say, you know, we need to be united and work with each other. So there was this purpose. I mean, there was a time to help the HHL, and the answer was in opposition. I respect everybody's decision, but if you're on the wait list, by saying no doesn't give you leverage. Secondly, there's a bill that will be heard on March 20th, and it has to do with school impact fees. The amount that's designated for Neighborhood Board 36 is $144,000. So you may want to vote yes, or you may want to vote no. And lastly, we never know what the Oval Office is going to do. So if they dismantle the HHL, testimonies will no longer be required. Thank you.
Thank you. One more online, Patty Kahanamoku Teroya. Please unmute.
Hi, aloha again, Madam Chair. Let me take a breath. So we're on residents' concern. And I did want to bring up, and thank you for this time, board. And I did want to bring up the concern on DHHL and why there is opposition. But I also wanted to remind you of your strong senator, Samantha DeCourt, that always is there doing her research, always there speaking and knowing what she's speaking on. She is actually defending a lot of our Hawaiian homestead by asking these hard questions. Her boldness at times, I watch her, and voting opposition is because there's no accountability. So if you follow the DHHL and you attend these meetings, you would ask yourself, you need accountability. $600 million, where did it go? Do we have homes? Is there really 29,000 waitlisters on the list? No, because there's a lot of people who are deceased that are on the list. My mother, my uncle, they're all on the list. These large numbers, what DHHL has to do is clean up the list. It's not really maybe 29,000. But, I just wanted to clearly, and I did testify in opposition, and there's reasons because there needs to be accountability. It is not holding money from Hawaiian Homes or building for our waitlisters. It's finding out where is the right projects. Where is our project in Maili, the 35 million that was taken away from your community? You should be able to ask that department. And so that is my community concern. And I just want to clearly say, and I thank our Senator DeCourt for standing boldly as a freshman senator to be able to ask these hard questions. And I appreciate that she is representing all of us. Hawaiian Homes from Waianae to Nānākuli, she is speaking on behalf of a lot of the beneficiaries. So thank you so much, Madam Chair. Thank you so much, Board. Aloha.
Mahalo. At the mic, please state your name.
Yeah, my name's Aaron Kaniayakla. And I read in the paper that the governor is giving themselves another raise. And I was just wondering if they can maybe get some stuff done before a lot of lip service. Get some stuff done before you give yourself another raise.
Thank you. Online, Johnny May Perry. Next is Kapua.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Patty, for your input. I respect your mana'o. I just wanted to add, Carly Watson had to attend a committee meeting in 2024, and he gave an extensive breakdown of all the projects and about the $600 million. I agree that our political leaders or people in high office doesn't always follow the rules. I get that.
Thank you.
And it's beyond our control. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was
Next,
a point of order.
Kapua.
Aloha and mahalo for this opportunity to share. I have concerns about our DHHL monies, Act 279, $600 million, how they have been spent. And I fully support our senator and in her weighing not only the beneficiaries' responses, but also the department's responses. So she's not just taking it from us. She is doing her research, and sometimes we will not agree, but when we do agree, we definitely want to support her. And I'd also just like to take a moment to let everybody know that tomorrow evening at the Ka'aha'aina Cafe, I believe, it is the Waianae Watershed Management Meeting. So just to remind everybody about that, because VAI is so important, especially for our Waianae Moku. And if we could go and be informed, because the better informed we are, the stronger constituents and community members we are. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo. Any other community concerns? Seeing none. Moving on to our presentation for this evening, sewer service increased from the Department of Environmental Services, Mr. Brick, excuse me.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. My name is Dan Brick from the Department of Environmental Services. And I'm here to talk about sewer fee increases that we're proposing. So the Department of Environmental Services, we collect, treat, dispose, and we reuse, recover resources for 100 million gallons of wastewater a day. We operate and maintain 2,100 miles of sewer pipe. We have 72 wastewater pump stations, 9 wastewater treatment plants, and we collect and treat wastewater 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And part of our requirement is to be self-sufficient, so only using sewer fees to pay for capital improvements. And periodically, we have to increase rates to cover these projects and our operation costs. So Why are our fees going up? Well, we have not raised rates since 2016, and that's largely due to how efficient we've been running. We do a lot of careful planning and engineering to keep costs down the best we can. But over the next 15 years, from 2025 to 2040, we have a proposed $10.1 billion in wastewater treatment plant project upgrades. The largest of our capital improvement program projects is at Sand Island wastewater treatment plant, which we're required to upgrade to secondary wastewater treatments by 2035. And that was a requirement from the 2010 consent decree. So that $1.8 billion project is coming up. We anticipate that that should go into construction about 2029, 2028, somewhere in that area. And these projects are really necessary to keep our program going. So how will we be using this additional funds? Well, we will continue to provide safe and reliable sewer services. We will finish up the projects from the 2010 consent decree that's required. We'll pay for rising operation and maintenance costs. We're going to be proactively replacing aging infrastructure before it fails. Try to minimize spills, try to minimize odors, make sure that we're doing our job to properly treat the wastewater. It will provide additional infrastructure needed to comply with additional regulatory requirements. As time goes on, regulatory requirements are getting more stringent, and our facilities have to be able to keep up with those requirements. We're going to be preparing infrastructure for the impacts of climate change, which includes sea level rise, which means many of our new projects are going to have to be built on a higher elevation. For example, the Sand Island projects, we're raising the elevation of those projects so they could withstand the time of sea level rise. We're going to upgrade and modernize technology for improved performance and efficiency. We're going to expand resource recovery and recycling and implement energy production from wastewater to help reduce costs. So one thing that we are doing with this proposed fee increase is we're looking at changing the fee structure. So currently, 70% of our sewer fees is a fixed fee, and 30% comes from volumetric fee, meaning how much water you use. So we're proposing to shift that to a more 50%, 50%. So meaning you'll have more control over your sewer bills. You use less water, it will impact your bill more than it does now. You'll see savings from using less water, more savings. So that's something we want to do to try to give residents more control over their sewer bills. If they feel it's too high, they have the option to use less water to reduce that bill, and it'll have more of an impact than it currently does. We are going to have an assistance program. We are committed to $10 million per year towards this new program to help with affordability and equity, and it's called the Customer Assistance for Residential Environmental Services, CARES. So sewer customers qualify based on household income of less than 80% area median income, and you'll be eligible for a $20 to $25 credit on your monthly fixed fee. So you would have to apply for that program and re-verify every 6 months. So as far as how much these increases are, how much is your bill going to go up? Well, we're proposing a 9% increase for 6 years, proposing to have that begin July 1st, 2025, and then increases of 8%, 7%, 6%, and 5%. So it's 10 years of increases, which will total about 115% over the next 10 years. We will still continue to offer a 20% irrigation credit. And just to look at some numbers, talk about some numbers. So the average household uses about 9,000 gallons of water per month. So that covers basically 70% of households. So if your bill was about $110 in 2024 per month, you would see an increase of that going to $122 per month. But 50% of the households on island use 6,000 gallons or less of water per month. So in that case, you would see an increase from about $107 to $115. So about an $8 increase a month. And that would continue on as our increases continue. So it's something that's really going to help our program out. It's necessary to fund these required projects and keep our program moving. So I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Any questions from the community? Please approach the mic, state your name.
Aloha, I'm Valerie Manoa from Nānākuli Homestead, and I have to apologize because I just pay my bill, and I don't really know where everything goes when the bill comes. But I was wondering, for many of us who continue to be Aina people, who grow food on our property, is there consideration for that too? Because my ulu tree, my banana trees, guava trees, papaya trees, all need water. And I'm trying to, like everyone else, trying to feed my family, but we need to do that. So I was just wondering if there was thought to that, not only me, but there's others who also grow their own food to provide. So
Yeah, so as far as growing your own food and using water for that, our sewer bills are based on what your water bill is. So we use that volumetric calculation. But that is something I can bring back with me and discuss with our leadership.
Thank you. Questions from the community? Please approach the mic. State your name.
I'm still Aaron, Nānākuli. Well, I know we used to pay 3 times the price of the water for sewer every month. So at one point, I said we were using 21,000 gallons a month. And I know it wasn't true. So I turned off my water, and maybe some people didn't get water for a month or 2. So I know that it looks like you said you're raising the fee because of your Sand Island job, but that was from 15 years ago. Are you working on any sewer upgrades in Waianae?
Yeah, so the Sand Island project that I was talking about has not gone into construction yet. So it's in the design phase. So it has not gone out to bid. But we do have a treatment plant in Waianae. And yes, we operate, maintain, and provide upgrades for that treatment plant.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Board Member Tector, Board Member Myers, Shinsato Kong.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. Many questions, but I'll just ask one. Uh, Are the increase also included because of increased building of homes, development? You know, are they going to be part of this infrastructural, you know, monies that's coming from the developers? Or is it just purely residents? And how do you measure that?
Some of our projects in the coming years do include increases to capacity where needed. That's something we do. We upgrade and rehab our facilities, increase the size of sewer lines. So yeah, some of this fee increase helps to support those projects. Yeah.
Thank you. Board Member Myers.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for coming and giving your presentation. Can you send your contact information to our chair or to Jeffrey so that we can communicate with you? So my first question is I wanted to know if you can send the response because you're not going to be coming back next month. That for Valerie, send it to us. It was regards to her question. I noticed in the table that it shows that you're using the example of a 9,000 gallon. Where did that average come from? What part of the island? The whole island in general?
That's the whole island. Yes.
So it's not focusing on West Oahu, the average for West Oahu.
Correct.
Which is dry island, the dry side of the island. When I looked at each year, from 24 to 28, there's a $12 increase per month. And then 28 through 33 is $15 per month. It's increasing $15 per month. And then finally, the last year, it goes back to $12 per month increase from the previous year. So when I did the math on that when it's at the $12, that's going to be increasing it by $144 for that household for the whole year.
That sounds about right. Yes.
So we already got a water increase from when Board of Water Supply came through last year. So now the water and the sewer is going to be increased. I'm just looking at the amount of money. When you go up to $15 per month increase, that's $180 per year. I do know you need infrastructure, but we've constantly been saying that we on the west side, because we live on the dry side of the island, we have to water to keep, not just for having plants to eat, but we also have to do water to keep our grass green because we're in the dry side of the island. With this increase, are you going to change the meters so that we can truly be billed for what's going down the sewer system and not what's going in our yard?
There is no meter that we have for households to just monitor sewer. That's why we use the Board of Water meter.
So anything that comes out of our faucets in the house, that's what's going down the drain. But anything that's come from our outside in our yard, that's what's going in our yard. So I guess I'm trying to figure out, we've asked this many a times and every time it's being ignored, but we're the ones that are being punished by being charged for everything that's going in our yard is also being charged as if it's going into the sewer system. Can you get back on us on that?
Sure.
On how to kind of, in this several years, can you guys incorporate that kind of improvement?
I'm not sure if something like that could be incorporated.
Even if it's a pilot program for just us on the west side, because we're the dry side of the island.
Yeah, but as far as the rate increases, we're going up 9% a year for the first 6 years, and then 8%, 7%, 6%, and then 5%. So that's why you see it.
I guess I'm
drop
looking at a dollar amount because 8%, 9% doesn't make sense, but how much is actually coming out of our pockets each month and each year. Because it's not like when we budget for this year, we can't budget the same because you guys are going to increase. So next year, we're going to have to change our budget. Then we can't keep it the same. We got to keep increasing every year. We have to do that with water as well. I know my time is up, so if we can take it offline.
Sure, absolutely.
Yes, if you can reach out to Chair with your
Thank you.
contact
I will
information.
provide my contact. No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you.
Board Member Shinsato.
Thank you, Chair. Stan, for the presentation. I just got one quick question. Were there any discussions for at least the Sand Island project to float municipal bonds? Because the last time I checked, which was a couple of years ago, the existing bonds, municipal bonds that you guys have AA ratings, which is pretty much standard for cities and municipalities across the nation. There's some few that actually have AAA rating. But has there been any discussion, not to fund the whole consent decree, but at least partial sort of thing, 10 years, 115%? That's huge.
Yeah, so we actually are using bonds to help float this increase. We try to minimize the increases as much as we could to keep them from jumping any more than 9% a year. And we used our bond debt to help make that happen. So that is something we are doing.
Thank you. Board Member Kong.
Sorry that you had to come. I heard your speech. Wasn't you, but someone else at Wine Neighborhood Board.
Okay.
You're only talking about increasing, no decreasing, only increase. I called the electric company and said, come out, check my wire because I think you want a leak in my wire. And she laughed. What she's asking down the table, there's a meter. If I go to the store, buy a gallon of water, I pay for that gallon. That's what she wants to look at. Should we put some more coins in it? Let the water run? Val is asking, when I water my yard, all the water, the figures come out. That's how you calculate the figures. That's for the shed water, and this is for the water that we drink. I never gonna ride down the rail. And it's increasing, and we live in a homestead. State should be paying for that. So I heard the figures with the commercial and the hotels, how they pay them out. That's a bad figure. But thank you for coming and letting us know the same what I got, the message.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Hanohano.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. My only question is this set in stone or is there still some wiggle room?
It's a proposed, that's what we've calculated that we need to keep our program running.
So it's just proposed at this point, but most likely it's pretty set.
Yeah, it's not passed. I'll say that.
Okay. Yeah, that's just, if you think about it, okay, so if you look at the July 1, 2034, and this is only for sewer portion, $248. Let's say the water portion may be $60, $80 to $100. So you're saying a monthly water sewer bill in 2034 will be over $300 for the average household. That's a little scary because like I'm retired now, so I don't think my retirement will go up 115% in 10 years. So, I mean, I understand. I work for the city. I know how it works, but it's just like, whoa, scary. Thank you.
Yeah, and we're trying to help people have more control over their bill with the volumetric calculation, with that weight increasing on the bills. So that should help people who want to conserve water have a lower bill. And we have the assistance program that we're committed to funding.
Board Member Ayo.
The one section that you read, I'm just going to repeat it. Prepare infrastructure for the impacts of climate change, including sea level rise, are you folks putting money on the side also? Just in case we have a tsunami, so whatever's being built there at Sand Island is gonna be devastated. Like how, I think Louisiana, when they had the storm, their sewage system completely failed, so I don't know how they survived all that, but with us, we're only on an island that's gonna rely on that water or that sewage water to get rid of. That's one question. The last one was, on an average, my monthly bill is about 100, so I guess mine's gonna go up to at least 110 right now, because I'm only using, looking at their scale here, I'm using about 4,000 gallons instead of 9. So I'm trying to propose, where am I gonna have to be with, like what you were saying, how much money more am I supposed to make or live on, because we're on a limited income, retirement income, to facilitate paying the water bill or the sewage bill. But that was it. If you can answer that question about Sand Island.
Sure, yeah, so our new projects, we're elevating them in the Sand Island area to help with sea level rise. But sea level rise also affects our sewer pipes with infiltration. So as that groundwater gets higher, water can infiltrate into the sewer system. And so we are constantly rehabbing sewer lines and making them watertight to minimize infiltration. But if a tsunami does come and hits the treatment plant, yeah, there's going to be an issue. I don't see that's unavoidable, but we do run emergency projects and have emergency funding if that situation were to arise. Yes.
Thank you. Board Member Shinsato.
Thank you, Chair. I just got one quick question. It's about the volumetric fee. Is that an estimation, or because I cannot see how you guys can figure out volumetric, given what Jermaine Myers, Board Member Myers was stating, there's no meter on the sewage line. So basically, whatever you're charging for volumetric is a percentage of the total flow into the residence.
Yeah, we're talking.
So it's an assumption.
Yes, it's based on your water bill.
No, but the percentage is based on an assumption. So let's say for the food total, 100% is water going into the thing, and 40% is non-sewage, and 70% is sewage, let's say, or vice versa, no matter what. That percent sewage is an assumption and not something that's measured by a meter, like the border water supply meter. Is that correct?
Correct. There's no sewer meter on a residential household.
Okay. So how would on residents, they use more water for plants and farming than actually inside of the house? How would they get the percent from the sewage people to flip the percentage or the assumption of the percentage around non-sewage as opposed to sewage?
I'm not sure if I totally understand your question.
If the volumetric flow of sewage is an assumption, a percent assumption from the total water you use, but some residents, they water their plants and probably they use more water on the yard that's not going into the sewer system, but their percent is higher than non-sewage. So how can they actually get the thing turned around? Because the volumetric, what you're charging for volumetric flow is an assumption. It's not, there's no meter on there.
Yeah, so it is based on the water meter. So for that volumetric calculation, using less water would lower the bill.
Thank you. We do have a few more questions from the community.
Sure.
So we have one in person, if you can approach the mic, and next we have online, Kapua.
Aloha, Blessing Star, Dela Cruz. You guys are using the emergency federal funding and the percent rate is 9%, correct? As what you said, but the assistant program was quoted was $25. Now, I've asked the person prior before I spoke in Chris Marioka's meeting that since you guys are going under federal funds, are you guys still able or willing to go more than $25 for your assistant programs? Because with Hawaiian Electric, when I spoke with them, because they're using the federal funds in federal, they're getting a little bit higher in that amount. It's unacceptable when you're giving it 9% charge. And then as an assistant program, it's just $25, especially on this side. Can you go back there? Because I've asked that question prior before with you guys, with the sewage charges increase. I know you guys are making aware with the community. The community are looking at the 9% as what you are saying, and the questions what they have is not equivalent to the funding that you guys receive from the federal funds.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, so ENV is committed to funding $10 million per year towards this assistance program. And that would get assistance to $20 to $25 credit. But I hear your concern, and yeah, I will take that back with me.
Thank you. Online Kapua, please unmute.
Aloha and mahalo for taking our questions and coming out here. So if I understand right, with these 9% successive increases, it's 9% from the previous year, from the previous year, from the previous year, 654, correct? So we're actually going to be spending 100% more in our bill.
When you get to the 10-year period at the end of it, yes, that's correct.
So if our bill today is $200, then in a decade, we can look at it being $400 or more.
But potentially, yes, that is correct.
Okay, and the only thing that we have control over is the amount, the volume of water that we receive. I'm sorry, could you explain that piece again to me? Because like the
Sure.
previous testifier, Val Manoa, you know, there are many people who are actually trying to grow their own food, and we finally started. So how is that going to impact us? Because we're doing this to save money, yet this county continues to develop more homes, which is going to require more water, which is going to require more lines. So we're still building out, but we're the ones that are paying from the get-go. You know, and these other people that come and have their homes, they start at what, at the low point where we all are. So how do we decide what the new homes are going to be built when we've been suffering years and decades before they actually get here? Because that's the thing, is that we don't have managed development. And that's what we need, is managed development, so that we don't always have to increase costs for new development. Because we'd rather increase costs for managed care for our current services. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the question. Yes, so currently, 70% is fixed fee and 30% is volumetric, but that will be changed over the first 4 years to balance 50-50. So 50% fixed fee, 50% volumetric. So if you use less water in the future, it will have more of an impact on your bill.
Another question online, Carrie Inamasua Ken, please unmute.
Aloha, sorry. Thank you for taking my question. Thank you for coming out. I just wanted to also share my concern about the water usage, the 50-50 for the proposed implementation of how we're going to be billed. Um, like a lot of uh, our community members, we also have a mala that we have, and we use our water. We have patches of uala and dryland kalo, and even the dryland kalo need water. So, um, could there be a proposal for maybe, and I don't know how mathematically this comes out, but it seems to me that maybe Waianae residents should have the option to stick to the 70-30 instead of the 50-50, because we need the water. We need water more so than most people. So I would propose, if we can look into that, perhaps maybe we can have that option, but also more so for, if you don't mind me asking the board, what are the regulations or the laws for water catchment out here in Waianae? If we can, I don't know what bill to look at or whatever, but if we can see about that too at this point. That's all I had. Thank you. Mahalo.
Yeah, thank you. Largely from the outreach we've done, the 50-50, half fixed fee, half volumetric has been very favorable. It has gotten positive feedback thus far. But no, I hear your concern, and yes, that's something that I will take back with me and check on.
Thank you. One more community concern.
Now, is Aaron still, is this strictly residential? And are you counting the 10,000 new housing projects being developed this year? Or is it all business and everybody?
It's everybody. Thank you.
Hi, I just wanted to come back up. I sounded kind of angry at that statement earlier. And actually, I wasn't angry. I'm passionate when it comes to asking questions with the community, for the community. My apologies. My apologies.
Thank you. Thank you so much. If you can take a question back to the Department of Environmental Services, that if the option to have an installation for a sewer meter is a solution to that, so that residents are paying the rate of both inaccuracy based on a meter rather than on assumption. Thank
Yeah, I
you.
can take that back. Thanks.
Thank you. Any further questions? Seeing none. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
Dan
very
Brick,
much.
take care. Moving on to official monthly reports, we have Governor Josh Green's representative, Gary Yamashiroya, online.
Good evening, Chair Augustine, members of the board. I apologize for not being able to be there. First, I'd like to congratulate Victor. It was really great getting to know you these last couple of years, and wish you all the luck and enjoy your well-deserved retirement. So I don't know if he's still there, but congratulations. I only had one thing really to report back on. Board member Myers asked a question about the Kauhale. There was a Civil Beat article that came out and talked about the cost of one of the Kauhale. I think it was in Mo'iliili. And so the question was, in light of the Civil Beat article, is there going to be a reevaluation of the Kauhale costs? As you are aware, the governor has often said that people having homes is a healthcare issue. There are people who are really struggling with their health on the streets. So it's a balance on, and with the urgency of needing to help people, put them in a place where they're safe with wraparound services. And so costs are evaluated based on that balancing, how things balance out. So I wish I had a more detailed answer for you. As you know, the Department of Human Services is where the homeless and housing office is located now. So I should be able to report on the next at the next meeting, more details on that, but I am here to answer any questions.
Any questions for
Any
the
questions for the
governor's
governor's
office
office
from the community?
from the community?
Seeing none.
Seeing none.
Any questions
Any
from the board?
questions from the board?
Okay, Gary, thank you
Okay,
so much
Gary,
for your
thank you so much
update.
for your update.
Okay, thank you, everybody.
Take care. Next, we have Mayor Rick Bongiardi's representative. Sorry for the typos on here. We had Irwin, but he's no longer our representative. But our NCO Jeff is going to give the update.
Alrighty. I'll try to make this as quick as possible. This month's highlights from the mayor's newsletter: the city's Wahipana Art Initiative makes its debut, celebrating Oahu's cultural and historical sites. The Kumu Oloho, a new transitional housing shelter for homeless individuals, opens at Evile Center. Mayor Blangiardi introduces Roy Miyahira, the city's new director of homeless solutions. An important update for Oahu residents on FEMA's updated flood insurance rate maps. Honolulu gets designated as a bicycle-friendly community, and what we're doing to improve. For department issues from last month, the abandoned building concerns are raised about the abandoned building located at 87-1968 Frankton Highway, and residents asked what can be done to address the concerns. The Department of Planning and Permitting issued notice of violation on February 19th, 2025 to the owner for not securing the vacant dwelling. The property owner has 30 days to correct the violation, after which, if the violation still remains, civil fines can be issued. Trespassing complaints must be submitted to HPD by the property owner. The next one, the new landfill site. Can the city address concerns with the new landfill site being on agricultural land and above a drinking water aquifer? The Department of Environmental Services, the city responded with the city is committed to protecting Oahu's water resources and agricultural land by implementing strict environmental safeguards and advanced monitoring systems at the planned landfill site. We will work closely with regulatory agencies to ensure compliance with all safety standards. Community input remains a priority, and we will continue to engage with residents throughout the process. And the Board of Water, my apologies. The third question around the Waimanalo Gulch clarification: when is the Waimanalo Gulch meant to be shut down? Due to the conditions of the WGSL special use permit, the city needs to identify an alternative landfill site that may be used upon closure of WGSL and they must stop accepting waste by March 2nd, 2028. The flyer stated they potentially have enough capacity to continue accepting waste until 2035. The last update comes from the Poka'i Bay Beach Park. Houses jumping over the restroom and maintenance areas gates. The Department of Parks and Recreation responded to your suggestion to install higher and taller gates for the restroom and maintenance area have been noted and we consider for future development. We encourage the community to contact HPD when they witness illegal and or potentially dangerous behavior. That's it.
Thank you. All questions can be emailed to the chair and we will relay that to the mayor's office. Thank you. Can you email and we will relay because there's no responder.
Just wanted to remind everybody about the mayor's town hall.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so everyone, just wanted to encourage everyone to attend the mayor's town hall, which is going to be next week, Thursday, on March 27th at 7 p.m. at Kalani Anaole Beach Park. Come early because it's for everyone from Eva, Kapolei, Nānākuli, Waianae, and Makaha. So again, next Thursday, 7 p.m. at Kalani Anaole Beach Park. Thanks, Chair.
Mahalo for the reminder. Moving on to Board of Water Supply, Cora Ishinaga.
Hi, I'm Cora Ishinaga from the Board of Water Supply Land Division. I'm new here, so I don't have much to report. The good news for Nānākuli is for the month of February, actually March, you have no leaks, no main breaks. But this is only for Nānākuli. It doesn't mean that Waianae didn't have any breaks. So whenever I come to talk, it's, strictly for Nānākuli. Another thing, if any of you ever have like a Board of Water Supply topic that you want me to present or do a little research on, there'll be like a 1 or 2 minute presentation with a flyer or something, please let me know. I will give Malia my Board of Water Supply email address and my contact number. What else? Let me see. That's about it. And if I could make a real quick comment about your plants and like the water situation, because I live in Kapolei and I like plants and water bill is high. My water bill is high and it's only me and my dog. So I think the Board of Water Supply, if I'm not mistaken, and I can, share that with you all next time, I think we have a rain barrel program. If any of you are interested, I can find out if we do have a program and what the cost is, if any.
Thank you. Any questions from the community for Board of Water Supply? Please approach the mic.
Aloha, Valerie Manoa again. Yes, I do have a rain barrel that comes off of my gutters that we use. But of course, we live in Waianae, the dry side of the island. We are also, if you know about agriculture, so the more we grow trees, the more we bring the rain. But that would mean more people. I love the idea about catchment, because there was a time we had heavy rains and I took all of my barrels outside in my yard and caught whatever water was there. But we're on the west side. So we do have dry. Yeah, so I'm just saying that many of us already do that. We are very educated out here because we lack water. And so we are not wasteful and we try our very best to find ways to keep our water and to use it well. And we're very much aware of all of the programs that are out there that have been advertised to us for many years already. So yeah, if there's any other projects out there that they could help us with, besides what has been shared with us for the past 30 or 40 years.
Thank you.
Thank you. How effective are the rain barrels that you have used personally? Are they really effective? Because I live in Kapolei and I haven't personally got a rain barrel yet, but I don't know because it doesn't rain in my area too much. But I don't know.
Cora, thank you for the question. We'll take that offline. Yeah. Any questions from the board? Board Member Myers for Board of Water Supply.
Board of Water Supply, I have a question. Yeah, now it's the board members asking questions. At next month's meeting, can you verify, from what I understand, only the County of Honolulu, we cannot have a professional catchment system for water. It's illegal on County of Honolulu. Can you verify that? As opposed to on the Big Island, they can do it. And they can do other stuff that we can't do on Oahu. But can you verify County of Honolulu that if we can have professional catchment or not? Water catchment
I'll make a really
system.
I'll research that topic, and at the next meeting for the next month, I'll give like a 1 or 2 minute answer
Okay,
for
and
you, because I completely understand that like the Big Island, they have a lot of catchment. Yeah.
right. And then with that, can you also provide, if catchment is legal on County of Honolulu, if the Board of Water Supply have any programs like for subsidy? Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Great, that sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank
Any further questions for Board of Water Supply? Seeing none, thank you. Moving on to U.S. Congresswoman Jill Takuda. Do we have a representative online? No representative for Jill Takuda. Moving on to Councilmember Andrea Tupola. Do we have someone online? Oh, Kika, go ahead and unmute.
Yes. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank and Chair for the time. But we are here and open for questions. And just a reminder that tomorrow is full council. But I'm open for questions.
Any questions for Tupola's office? Kika's the representative. Seeing none. Thank you, Kika.
Thank you, guys.
Moving on. We have our state senator in person, Samantha D. Court.
Aloha, Chair and board members, Samantha D. Court, Senate District 22. Happy to be here with you, folks. We are literally in the belly of the beast of our legislative session, and I mean that verbatim, the belly of the beast. So we have lots going on. We just are in the beginning of crossover, so we're reviewing all of the House bills. We do have some resos that we're trying to get hearings on. Other than that, lots of moving parts at the ledge. I'm gonna just go ahead and give the time over for questions for anybody that might have questions.
Any questions from the community for Senator DeCourt? Online? Any questions from the board? Oh, online, Patty Kahanamoku Teruya, please unmute.
Okay, can you hear me? Thank you, and aloha, Madam Chair. Thank you, Senator Samantha D. Court. My question is, can you inform the board and some that may not really understand your position on Act 279 and your statement and why, as a senator, you voted opposition to extend the 600 mil?
Sure. Act 279, which was originally passed by the legislature in 2022, appropriated $600 million to DHHL. And the sole purpose of Act 279 was to eliminate its wait list. So it would have created a multi-pronged approach for the department to reduce the wait list in whatever the department felt that was necessary to reduce the wait list. So there were many projects and ideas that were pitched, but the idea is to reduce the wait list. And so the department had 3 years to encumber and appropriate and spend those funds. So now we're here in 2025 and the department is asking for more money. Originally, when the bill was introduced, they were asking for $600 million on that bill, HB 606. And I did bring copies for anybody that would like copy of that. On page 1, it does say that the department to clear the close to 30,000 waitlisters would be approximately $6 billion. And so obviously that's not what the department is asking now. However, we can see a trend of increments, which started off at 600 million. Now they're asking for 600 million, but we just had our decision-making hearing in Hawaiian Affairs today, and the bill was amended to $50 million. So the reason why I had took a position in opposition is really to keep the department accountable, because right now a lot of that money is being spent in amazing ways for land retention. So there's a lot of projects that had encumbered money. As example, Voice of America. It is here in our Waianae Moku, and $35 million was appropriated to that project to have 280 lots. 280 lots. So the money was encumbered, and recently, well, last year, that money was moved around to a different project. So unfortunately, our residents here on the Waianae Coast will not be able to benefit from having leases awarded in our Moku, because I know that we do have beneficiaries that would prefer to stay here in Waianae. I did reach out to the chair and ask him in our January info briefing why the money was moved from that project. I still have not gotten an answer. And so I think because of just maybe the lack of transparency or lack of communication. And, you know, the chair is busy, the department is busy, they have a lot of things going on. But until I can feel secure that that money is being spent appropriately to, in fact, reduce the wait list, then I think it's important that we continue to keep the department accountable, as I would any other department, Department of Education, Department of Agriculture, Department of Land and Natural Resources. And so I really want to take advantage of the fact that the legislature is allowing us to have these funds, and these are taxpayer funds. But to see the ask reduced from 600 million to 50 million, I think the legislature in its whole, and I can only speak for my colleagues in the Senate, that just kind of reflects that the security of the senators towards the Department of Hawaiian Homes is not necessarily in full confidence. So I'm hoping that DHHL will use this as an opportunity to build trust within the legislature and also within the community and within the beneficiaries, and then be able to communicate effectively what is their plan and how they've already executed the 600 million that was already appropriated in 2022. So I have asked those questions. I haven't gotten answers yet, but I'm hoping to work closely with the department to just try to get those answers that I'm being asked by our constituents and by beneficiaries. So I have the community to answer to. So when they ask me, I ask the department doesn't get back to me. So I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. But that was the reason why I had made my opposition in that. But I hope the best for the department.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Senator, and thank you for all you do. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We have 2 more questions online. Kapua, go ahead and unmute.
Hello, Senator DeCourt, you know, for all that you're doing and for hearing us and for making sense with your research as well. I think this is also a good time to inform the people that, you know, we do have a good experienced director. However, his plan has always been to, it seems to be, to increase the rentals and then to do land acquisition, which in the near future does not help our wait lists. As Jermaine shared earlier today at the Hawaiian Homes Commissioners meeting, you know, what they have shared with us so far is 185, I think it was, 185 new lessees, new lots with over $300 million that were spent. And, you know, that's a tragedy. But a lot of that money was spent acquiring new lands that have to start all over again. And like you mentioned earlier, the Voice of America, we could have had almost 300 new homes for our people to actually reside in, own in, not rent, but to actually come off the wait list the way they're supposed to be. Another thing is, if perhaps you could follow up to see if it's the director's intent to reduce the wait list by going after pre-existing qualified wait listers. Earlier today, they had a Wahine who's been on the list for over 4 decades. And now that she's changing her island of choice, she's going through the reapplication process, which is now different from 40 years ago. So it's like they're already on the wait list. And so they, and neither should the beneficiaries here, have to go through this process, especially when she no longer has her mommy and her grandmother that were there when she applied. We do need to reduce that wait list, and I think by taking off our deceased family members and other people, not allowing them to go on. One of the positive things with the department, I believe, is that they are doing a better process of vetting us so that you don't have this false sense of, yay, I'm going to get it when my opportunity comes, and then discover otherwise. That is such a tragedy, but thank you for all of your good work, Senator.
Thank you. And I'm just going to make a really short response to that. What Auntie Kapo is talking about is DHHL's 2024 reporting to the legislature had stated that the department had expended $363 million to $363 million to award 185 leases. However, in 2023, the department expended $194 million to therefore award 1,485 leases. And so I think it's definitely important that we take a really close look at these numbers to make sure that the money is being appropriated accurately. We all know cost of living is rising and those kinds of things. So we're very realistic in what it is that we're projecting on how much things cost. So that's what Auntie Kapoor is talking about. And then Auntie Kapoor, just so you know, we did watch the DHHL meeting and we did hear the testimony of that woman. And we've been finding a lot of beneficiaries have been really having a difficult time when they do move to a different island, or even, you know, when their loved one passes away. I mean, I really want to help the department to streamline a better process for our beneficiaries. So yeah.
Thank you. Another
Thank you so
question
much,
online.
and especially thank you to Jermaine Myers for providing that information for me. Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you. Carrie Inamasua Ken.
Hi, aloha. Thank you for coming out tonight, Senator, to answer our questions. Sorry, this is just a working idea question that I just had. So, I know that the most important thing, especially for our beneficiaries and our people on the wait list for DHHL, I know that is very important to reduce the list as much as we can, but more so than sheltering our people, especially what is currently happening with this administration, food security, right? So would there be any, in the coming years, would there be a more of a focus for Hawaii to also have, um, how do I say, more of a focus on our food security and be able to feed our people, right? I don't know if that is a concern that's coming up from all of the districts, but I know out here in Waianae, where everything's so expensive and far, that's also a point that we keep in mind out here, especially in the more recent years. But yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. And I apologize. I was having a hard time hearing your question, but if you wouldn't mind putting it in the chat, I have Nia online and I'll answer your question offline, but thank you so much.
We have one in person. Please approach the mic.
Sometimes the brain processes later. Valerie Manoa again. I always go back to, and thank you, Senator Descartes, go back to the beginning. So in looking up on DHHL's website, I just wanted to read real quick the value statement of DHHL. To ensure the Hawaiian Homeland Trust is on solid foundation with sound policies and procedures, a long-term sustainable financial plan, a commitment to serving beneficiaries, and an organizational culture that honor the spirit of its founder. And it's interesting that this is the month of March where we honor our Prince Kuhio. With the foundation firmly rooted, administration's ongoing forward will be prepared to work side by side. To me, that means transparent, right? Side by side with beneficiaries and other partners, sorry, no more glasses, to create and maintain vibrant homestead communities. And there's 4 areas. So affirm and assert trust status, protect, so ensuring the financial well-being of the trust, to serve, provide excellent customer service. I'm going to say that again, excellent customer service. I think that's us. And deliver diverse homesteading opportunities. So I'm glad we're talking about this now, kind of, so that we can be here to honor our prince and what he did for us, the people of Hawaii, many generations forward and many generations back. There are times I think that we get so involved in the business of doing something that we need to be pulled back to what the purpose of something is. And if, I'm going to stand here and make a statement as a Hawaiian homesteader that our prince was one that loved his people. And we all here love our ohana and our people here. And we have to make sure that we stand for what is right and what is in the act. And that man not be swayed to do other things than what's in the act. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Board Member Tector, Board Member Myers.
Hi, thank you
Board
for
Member
being
Hall.
here present. It kind of encourages us that we have a voice. The question I have, is it possible that you could dialogue somehow with the DHHL? I've written how many letters in the past 10 years that as beneficiaries in a trust and indigenous people, how they do not differentiate that. Every year they should have supplied us with all of this data. We have scattered lots. We take our own accounts, just on Nānākuli homestead, scattered lots on each and every one that's on Oahu and all the other islands. We don't have the correct data. Once upon a time, they did have that. We even had who was the next beneficiary that was put on the list because there wouldn't be any hakaka in the families. So because they haven't supplied that is supposed to be for the beneficiaries, we have the government. Do we need to hire our own attorneys? Is that what they're saying? And they used to just give the land. The people will build their own homes, be it 50,000, then they just get a small portion, to 500,000, but let them build their own. And they may have to pay their own infrastructure, but they're holding the land back. But yet development around us keeps going in cycle. Kamakana, I don't even know if they pay $1 for the lease. But this year's wait list that's going to be taken off for this weekend, each applicant have to pay $99. And my cousin and my aunt and friends are asking me, why do we have to pay $99 for this application process to get on the wait list or off the wait list? So please go back and find out if you can.
I will. I'll share those concerns with the department. Thank you so much. Yes.
Board Member Myers.
Thank you, Chair. The department is actually using, out of our 200,000 acres, they're using less lands for our 10,000 lessees than they are using for land management department, which is to generate revenue. More than double the amount of land that we live on is what they're using for people to rent, for people to lease. And so my concern is that the department is not generating enough revenue in order to help develop lots. And here are some of the examples that I've been trying to get answers from the department, but maybe you can. So for example, Xinjing Hong and Hong Fang Gan is actually leasing 8.6 acres of our land for agriculture use in Waianae. 8.6 acres, and his rent, which was increased in September of 2024, 6 months ago, from $6,000 to $6,200 per year, So that's $500 a month to use 8.6 acres of our land. Kennard Hicks is using 6.4 acres of our land. For each year, he went from paying $255 to $263 6 months ago. So $263, I paid $20 a month to pay for 6.4 acres. Then we have other people like Alun Farm in Kapolei. They're farming on our land. 78 acres of our land in East Kapolei. They went from paying $19,000 a month to $19,000 a year to $20,000 a year. So less than $2,000 a month, they get to use 78 acres of DHHL lands in East Kapolei. And then in our own backyard, Lyman Ranch is paying for 1,126 acres, $14,000 a year, little over $1,000 a month. And the last example would be Waianae Nānākuli Ranch, 438 acres of our land for $11,000 a year, less than $1,000 a month.
Thank you.
So they're leasing out our land to all these people. We're on the agriculture wait list, but they're leasing it for agriculture use or pastoral use. So is there any way you can get answers from the department?
Yeah, I will say that amongst my colleagues, it has been a concern that the department is not generating its own revenue based on the commercial leases that are not paying full market rent. Again, these are questions that I've asked the chair and I have not got answers to, but I'll continue to pursue the answers. So thank you for bringing that up. I haven't heard that breakdown before, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Kong.
Can I have anything on? You can hear me? Oh, I feel like the prince tonight.
You look like the prince tonight. Just saying.
You know what? We have to stop. We have to stop this. You know, this bringing everything down, saying that we're not moving forward. Cement is on the top 10 list every morning that we chop. What we got. You know, everybody was saying, you know, what's going on? What's been happening so long? So long been happening. So when I was young, I used to go to the meeting and said, is this a benefit or a burden getting one homestead? And they said, why it's a burden? I said, I gotta pay. Oh yeah, everybody gotta pay. You're not supposed to pay. Patty said, oh, Nānākuli, all on the board. I think I'm gonna adopt Gary tonight. Okay, she both saying that. We got the most Hawaiians in the world in the valley. Oh, by the way, in the graveyard too. Let us not forget. But thank you so much. And we gotta stop this. I hate to say it. So I didn't put in everything, dragging them down. Where's the solution? Let's go. I feel like I'm working for the department. Okay? Aloha.
Mahalo. Any further questions? Thank you, Senator. Okay. Next on our agenda, we have State Representative Darius Kila, who's online.
Mahalo board, thank you, Chair, aloha members. If you folks don't mind, I will share my screen. To the folks that were on the board, I emailed you folks my newsletter, and for folks who are visiting in person, I just want to go over briefly. This is our March newsletter. The House passed out HB 300, which is the vehicle for the House budget that does a lot of the investments for the state budget. This will do a lot of the infrastructure improvements, but also largely it has our DOE capital improvement projects, largely for our school systems. I'm happy to share that several of our schools in the House version have received earmark funding for addressing several different issues at the different schools in District 44. So I'm hoping that the Senate will continue to support the House position of funding those CIP projects. Moving on to the backside, I've been dealing with the HECO matters. I'm pretty sure HECO is tired of hearing from me. But every time that there's an outage, I just want the community to know that I swiftly contact HECO, even at the point last, I think 2 weeks ago, the outage was at 12 a.m. and HECO received a very pointed email on my frustration. I know they presented to the board But I just want to just continue. When you folks raise these concerns, it's helpful because sometimes I feel like I'm banging my head on the wall. And so it helps prove my position that this is a community concern. But I think the community is also being patient, knowing that the repairs are underway to stop this from happening. I do want to highlight several pieces of legislation, two, but particularly. HB 958 is the House position on regulating electric bikes, which we have known from the interim and to now. I mean, my sincere condolences to the 7-year-old that was struck and killed by an e-bike. I mean, this is what it's coming to. This is also like one of the most comprehensive pieces of legislation I've ever authored. It's about 16 pieces of what the regulation is, and I'm proud to share that this is the only bill the judiciary, the police departments, and the county and state agencies that are supporting. So as a transportation chair from Nānākuli, that this is our vehicle to hopefully get the silver bullet that they need and do as much as we can. And then HB 664, which would codify and create the Office of Gun Violence and Prevention under Department of Law Enforcement. Full transparency, it is yet to be seen clear how the federal conversations are going that are going to affect us at the state level. I'm struggling every day to figure out what message to share and provide to the community, because I do know justice to the community to tell you folks the sky is falling and there's no plan. But I think if and when it gets to that position, I'll be very transparent with you folks. So what I'm trying to say is that bills that require money may not get as much funding as we can, but this is where I'm doing everything we can. I think an Office of Gun Violence Prevention would be able to have somebody running this point, because I'm not targeting lawful gun ownership, right? We're looking at illegal guns that have proliferated our communities, especially with our young kids. And talking about our young kids, we had adult friends for youth come visit. You see this picture right here. They were just at the Capitol. This is Adult Friends for Youth. All the kids from the west side of Oahu. A lot of them, their first time at the Capitol. They got to tour the chamber, sit down with Lieutenant Governor Luke, and have an intimate discussion panel with myself, Rep. Moroka, and several of our House colleagues. And then they got to come on the floor. And I mean, when we talk about intervention, these are some of the kind of things where these kids can see themselves in us, that they are able to ascend to wherever that their dreams want to. So all of that's kind of where we're at this part of the session. I was also the state of the county address this evening, and it was interesting to hear the mayor where he's at. But I'm open for questions at this point, Chair, and mahalo for allowing me to attend virtually this evening.
Thank you, Rep. Kila. Any questions from the community? Nothing online. Any questions from the board for Rep. Kila? Seeing none. Thank you, Rep. Kila, for the update. And if we have any further questions, we'll send by email. We appreciate you for
Mahalo, Chair. Mahalo, board members. Aloha.
Next on, we have the Army Representative Lieutenant, a representative of Lieutenant Cappies.
Good evening, and thanks for having us once again. I am not Lieutenant Colonel Jason Kappis. However, I am his battle buddy, Command Sergeant Major Radu Hamilton. A few things I want to share with the community this evening. I got 4 points of interest. Job fairs coming up. Our next hiring fair will be on April the 22nd at Ali Amanu Military Reservation Gym. It'll start at 8:30 a.m. and end around 2 p.m. February, training advisory for Schofield Barracks. We have a mix of small arms, aviation, artillery, mortar, and demolition training going on throughout the rest of the month of March. Going to be added to our training advisory. I have the email so you can get that information as opposed to getting it only here in this board. That training will include day and nighttime live fire, some late evening, and then some early morning hours. Third point of interest is Pacific Pathways. We have started to deploy forces to train alongside our Philippine counterparts on the island of the Philippines, mostly for exchanges of information and to train alongside subject matter experts over the next coming months. And then my last point is National Vietnam Veterans Day Parade. It'll take place on Saturday, March the 29th. Pay tribute to those who served our nation for the cause of freedom and liberty. Fort DeRussy Park. It'll start at Fort DeRussy, 4:30 p.m. and the parade will begin promptly at 6 p.m. Pending your questions of the board or the members of the community, that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you for the updates. Any questions from the community for the Army? Any questions from the board? Board Member Myers.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for coming this evening.
Yes, ma'am.
I looked at the report regarding the garrison's visit, and it talked about how there were issues with housing for the Army. That was one of the concerns that came up. What do you mean by that? You just don't have enough barracks, or because I know that there was a report that came out that said that the military rents a good portion of our rentals in the state, and they take up because you guys get COLA and you get an allowance for housing. So what is the issue that you don't have enough housing on base, or because we don't have enough housing for the military to rent in the public space? Or could you bring back that next month? Yeah.
I absolutely will forward this question on. I am not subject matter expert on housing. However, I have your concerns. I wrote it down. I will get it forwarded to the appropriate people and get you an answer.
Okay. I'll forward the email to and then that we got from the Army that stated about this visit and about that issue. So I'll do it offline. I'll send you the details.
I'll
that
share
we
my
got.
information with my email information with you, and we'll get it packaged up and sent to the appropriate people.
Okay. I'll get it from video. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Seeing no further questions. Thank you, Army.
Thanks for your time.
Next, we have the Department of Hawaiian Homeland's representative, Diamond, in person.
Aloha, Diamond Badajos with the Department of Hawaiian Homelands, Public Information Officer. I am here to share aloha, Chair, Board, and community members. Two pieces of info to share on Tuesday, March 25th. The department will be leading Kuhio Kako, a unity rally meant to really just to unify our lahui and bring together community on that day in honor of Prince Kuhio. Bulk of the program will be between 9 and noon. Again, this will be Tuesday, March 25th at the Rotunda at the State Capitol. Another great piece of news to share is this Saturday, March 22nd, we will be awarding 665 project lease awards for the West Oahu area. So this will be 605 project leases for Ka'ulu-o-Kaha'i and 60 leases, project leases for Kaupea. Any previous concerns and questions you folks had and from the community online, I have them noted here and open to anything else the board or anyone in this room might have to share.
Any questions for the Department of Hawaiian Homeland's representative from the community?
Thank you for the job.
Oh, and from the
You
board,
know,
go ahead, Board Member Kong.
thank you for coming out, finally.
Of course.
Yeah, you're on the top 10 list too, Smith. Thank you so much.
Board Member Ayo.
Someone sent me one via the email. This is our Nānākuli Cemetery work crew. Alex Cowie.
The broken water pipe.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, got it.
You know it. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
You, Board Member Myers, and then Board Member Tector.
Is the department organizing this unity rally? Or is
Yeah.
it's a department?
We are taking the lead on the organizing, yes.
Okay. And then my next question is, in regards to Act 279, DHL submitted Act 279's annual report to the Ledge for fiscal year 24. The report included 318.9 million in contracts, 7.6 million in purchase orders, and 36.9 million in expenditures for a total of 363.4 million encumbrances and expenditures. So according to the report, $363.4 million was used to serve 185 applicants on the wait list. So that we can understand how the monies were spent, can you please send our board copies of each of the contracts so that they would total up to the 318.9 million? So each of the contracts, each of the purchase orders, and each of the expenditures, so that we can see the project location and what project it was for, and what phase of the lot development, example, design, developmental contract, but also who was being awarded these contracts, purchase orders, expenditures, because I'm trying to understand why only 185 applicants will be receiving a lot with $363 million. So that was for fiscal year 24. But I also, can you look at the annual report that was given to the legislature for fiscal year 23 as well? And then if we can get all the POs, the contracts, and the expenditures details, not on a spreadsheet. Can we actually have a copy of the purchase orders and the contracts that will show us the details of what was awarded?
Sure, I can work with the different divisions to see what
Because
we
when
can
I go
come
on
up
the
with.
procurement website for the awards and solicitation, it doesn't say Act 279 funds. So I just want to make sure I can separate what is Act 279 funds, what is general funds, what is trust funds.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
Board Member Tector.
Aloha, thank
Aloha.
you again for your bravery. Lots of questions, can you please go back to the department and express to Director Cully Watson as there are many homes that need to be repaired and maintenance. I had submitted a letter in the process. As you guys did couple A, every year they have to paint, or every 2 years they have to paint. So they have a lot of to-do lists, well, because of the developers. So they're unique in that way because they signed a contract with us here on the homestead. We have to look for our own contractors. Does the DHHL have in place so that we could benefit from it as beneficiaries? So as I repair my own home, I will not see the proceeds unless I sell it. But why would I sell it knowing I could pass it down to my children? But still, there is, the processing. I need to understand, if you could ask Kali, the permitting, when we do the permitting, it takes forever. So I beeline them and do my own. It's not the same for couple A. It's not the same for other areas. But because of the inconsistencies, I noticed there's homes that's falling apart because our kupuna can't afford a contractor or somebody to clean the yard. So the deterioration within our homestead, unless we go out and do our own survey, who's really looking after us instead of a nice department in couple A look after us?
Thank you. We have one question online and one question in person. Kapua, you can go ahead and unmute.
Aloha and mahalo, Diamond.
Aloha.
What I would like to see, if I could, babe, is a list of the current bills that made crossover that are still alive. All the bills that affect our housing, our development, funding, which may not be DHHL initiated. So everything that the chairman has submitted testimony on, and also to include those bills that didn't make it into crossover as well, if you could, please. Thank you, Diamond, and mahalo for coming to our community. Aloha.
Noted. Thank you. Aloha.
Mahalo. Approach the mic.
Aloha, Valerie Manoa again. Is this the event that you were talking about? Okay. Sorry, I'm unaware again. I'm a beneficiary, right? So, it was really nice to get that flyer in the mail from, and I can't remember the organization that's doing the March 29th parade. So that was really nice to know and be aware of. I do get the announcement from DHHL about meetings that I usually can't go to because I'm working during that time. Is it not possible to do the same thing for such an important event? Because, I mean, well, that a flyer goes like this or a leaflet goes home to all the beneficiaries instead of it. I don't know how it was sent out, and maybe I just missed it, but again, transparency. Maybe this is an annual thing and I'm not sure why. I don't know, maybe I'm not.
So the Information and Community Relations Office, we are doing a postcard campaign. Our contractor will be dropping about 1,500 postcards for the island of Oahu. The first batch went out yesterday. So those should be hitting our mailboxes soon. And then also following this week, we are doing a number of media appearances that'll help promote the event. And that will be, for our statewide audience.
So something so important as celebrating Kuhio Day, we get the notice a week before. Kuhio Day is an annual thing. This should be the priority for Department of Hawaiian Homelands. This should be, if it's an annual thing, it should have been sent out to me in January, because as workers, we have to request for off. I'm off this week. I'm glad we're on spring break, but I'm not going to be able to take off next week. And for the leaflets, and I'm glad there's a lot of leaflets going out, but it's kind of late. I'm just going to be blunt about it. It's kind of late, and I'm sure, I know you guys are busy doing a lot of things, but again, this is our priority. If it's an annual thing, the leaflets should have gone out ahead of time. Start planning next week for next year. And then let our people know, not only when your meetings are, but this should take priority over the meetings. Thank you.
Feedback noted. To my understanding, this isn't an annual event, but it is an initiative that Chair Cully Watson wanted to promote. So I apologize that the timeline isn't as swift as we would all want, but we hope that we can garner enough participation and, just put on a good unifying event for the community.
Are you guys selling t-shirts?
We won't be selling any t-shirts as the department, but it's my understanding that some are being made and they'll be given away as part of the event.
We have one online, Patty Kahanamoku Teruya.
Thank you, Diamond, for being here. I appreciate your time. Can you follow up on what the department is going to do with Ulukekekui and what kind of project they're going to plan for Ulukekekui in Maili, and also the outstanding property that's sitting next to Ulukekekui, which is called Voice of America? I understand what Mapuana was trying to explain on homes repairs, and I think the board needs a highlight on the NAHASA grants and what the NAHASA grants can do to help beneficiaries in home repair, such as wheelchair ramps, such as roofs and things like that. Many of the homes don't carry equity, in Department of Hawaiian Homelands, and so it's hard when you get older, you want your home repaired, and you can't go out and get a bank loan. It's very difficult if they have, their income is one set. So I think if you drive around Nānākuli, you see a lot of homes with that needs repair, and I think the NAHASA grant is an opportunity for beneficiaries to get these funds to help with repairs, and I think it's used. NAHASA's funds are to be used in that manner to help our beneficiaries who who needs home repair, especially a lot of our kupunas that are ill. They have homes that they really need wheelchair ramps. You know, it's difficult to get in and out. So I think the length of getting the HASA grants is so long, but I think the board needs maybe a next month if you could highlight them a little more about the NAHASA grant, the application, how long it's going to take and what it can benefit. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yeah, sure thing. I think maybe, an explainer sheet would be helpful for the board. We also have a Nahasda specific page on our website that could break that down. We also have an informational video on our YouTube page that's also linked to the Nahasda website that might shine a little bit of more insight on the program.
I thank you what she said, but the program only benefits people that are on a set income.
Understood.
And they rotate islands. So if you guys could break down that process too and say, unless you're 65 and older, everybody's income is counted. You can't verbally say it. You need to write it down. If it's not written, it's not law and we cannot contest. So the people need to know this.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Diamond.
Mahalo for the
Appreciate
opportunity.
it.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we have Office of Hawaiian Affairs Representative. Is there anyone present for OHA? Seeing none, we will continue to add them to the agenda and request for someone to be present as a representative. Moving on to board business. Approval of Tuesday, November 19th, 2024 minutes.
So move, Chair.
Motion to accept the minutes for November 2024. Do I have a second? Second, Board Member Ayo. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstain? Motion carries. Approval of Tuesday, December 17th, 2024 minutes.
So move, Chair.
Motion, Board Member Myers. Do I have a second? We're approving the December 17th, 2024. I need a second. Board Member Ayo. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Moving on to approval of Tuesday, February 18th minutes.
So move.
Motion from Board Member Myers for February minutes. Second, Board Member Ayo. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Moving on to the attendance within the community meetings and public hearings from December through February.
All right, so when I say your name, please use your microphone for the meeting attendance for the last few months. Board Member Ayo. From December 2024 to February 2025.
Oh, God. Wildfire, wildfire meeting, Firewise meeting, that was in February, on the island of Hawaii. That was about it.
For architecture.
Nānākuli PTSA, DHHL, commissioners meeting. I just attended the meeting that they just had this past Friday. What's that, Paul? Uncle Paul, with the military. Yeah, military engagement and legislation, the opening day, if that counts.
Board Member Kong.
I had a December to I kind of had a CRS going on that time, but me and Paul was attending a lot of meetings. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So keeping track.
Board Member Shinsato?
Waianae Coast Neighborhood Board, December.
We're doing for December, January, and February. If you'd like to do your other, if you've attended any other meeting, or it was just that one? Gotcha. Board Member Myers?
I can't remember any, wait, anyway, for December, December 3rd, neighborhood board, Waianae Neighborhood Board meeting, December 4th, OHA Board BOT meeting, December 16th, Hawaiian Homes Commission meeting, and December 16th, the evening of the community meeting, December 17th, Hawaiian Homes Commission meeting. And then in February, I can't remember any of the legislative hearings I went to, but I attended OHA's community meetings on February 5th, BOT meeting on February 6th, OHA committee meetings on February 19th, OHA BOT meeting on February 20th, and then Hawaiian Homes Commission meeting on February 18th and February 19th. That's it.
And Chair Augustine?
Nānākuli Elementary School SEC meeting, Nānākuli Elementary School SEC meeting, NHIS PTSA meeting, Waianae Neighborhood Board meeting, Land and Water Committee meeting, Hawaiian Affairs Committee meeting, and that's it. Okay. Thank you for your attendance, participation within the community. Moving on to the item C, I'm going to table this. I'm still pending information from the coordinator of the Nānākuli Night Market. But I do want to make a motion to open up discussion or entertain a motion to open up discussion to see if we would further like to continue to do outreach as of the Nānākuli Night Market as an example.
For the marketplace. I think we didn't have a good turnout every month, and people kind of come there just to eat and yeah, just to eat. And so one, maybe lucky two for the whole umpteen hours that we're there, that they actually stop by and engage, even though we have the whole table. So I kind of think maybe to go to other events that are more community engaged or something different.
Any other feedback items for the Nānākuli Night Market?
I agree with Chair that we don't need to participate at our makeke for now because we're attending this weekend's event for Prince Kuhio, which is more community-based. So if we could outreach even the high schools when they have their school event, like May Day program is coming up. I see that happening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So noted. Moving on to next agenda items, the Nānākuli Maili Neighborhood Board to participate in the 6th Annual Prince Jonah Kohio Kalaniana Ole Festival taking place on Saturday, March 22nd from 3 to 9 p.m. at Kalaniana Ole Beach Park.
Thank you, Chair. So I have a sign-up sheet. So Naomi and Ed are not going to be able to come. So that leaves 7 of us. And there's 6 hours. And I'm hoping that 2 people can man the booth each hour. We're going to put out pictures of Prince Hill for people to vote on to see which one that they would like to, if the legislature passes the bill, or anyway, so that we could put it in public spaces on DHHL land, which portrait would our community like to put on? So the one with the highest votes will kind of give leverage to that one. So I'm getting pictures from the Department of Archive and sending it to Chair so that she can print it out and put it on the table. And that's a way we can engage, kind of come and vote. Which Prince Hill picture that you want to put? I'm trying to put together also a trivia so that they can engage and then maybe get a prize that one person can win at the end of the night for who answered the most questions and pull out, from that drawing, and then get that one prize. But just ways to engage the community, start a conversation with them, and then they can also engage with us about the neighborhood board at that point, just to get it start the ball rolling. Anybody else not coming on Saturday? Because we're going to be there from 3 to 9, and I'll set up at 3. And it's so thank you, Gary. He's going to be with me at 3. But we got open spaces for 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7, and 8. In order for 2 people to sit to watch the booth.
Thank you.
So can I send an email to everybody and then you guys can sign up from there? Or if you want to sign up before we end tonight, that would be great.
I have a question. Will we have to bring our own tables and chairs?
The event coordinator has established parking for each of the board members at the Kawaihona Okinawa parking lot, and also tables and tent and lighting will be provided. So we would just be bringing our brochures, information, as Board Member Myers mentioned, for photos of Kuhio and a voting process and or games in Ho'okupu. So if you folks want to contribute to that, please communicate by email and sign up online before you leave so that we can have communications open and refer to those who are not present tonight the available slots. Additionally, if you can please wear your neighborhood board t-shirt for the event so that we can be in unison, and everyone present at the event can easily identify us as neighborhood board. Okay, we'll provide shirts for those who do not have shirts. Okay, thank you so much. Any further questions or concerns for Saturday's event? Moving on, committee reports. Transportation Chair, Jermaine Myers.
Thank you, Chair. Unfortunately, the library doors were not working. They were broken and the door guys couldn't come and fix it. So we had to cancel our March meeting, but we're going to have our next meeting on the first Wednesday of every month. So April 2nd is our upcoming meeting. The transportation starts at 6 o'clock, followed by the housing committee at 7:30. So an hour and a half to discuss what's on the agenda. So I encourage everyone to come that is interested in learning more about the transportation committee works and the housing committee that follows at 7:30. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I apologize. I didn't see 2 hands that went up. Patty Kahanamoku Teruya.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and I apologize. I just wanted to add that, and I thank you. We are putting up your tent with lights, tables, and chairs. Also, we want to thank Kawaiona Charter School for networking and participating with us to have the parking lot available for this event. So I think Jermaine has some parking passes for you to receive and be able to park at the Kawaiona school. Also, we are also providing board members their dinner bentos for that evening. So look forward to dinner bentos, and really look forward to the board members to participate. And it's election time too, and so networking and meeting the community would be such a great avenue for you. So thank you very much for all your participation and support. Aloha.
Thank you. And we have one more question with Kapua.
Aloha, Vic. I wanted to commend you board members for your active engagement and for volunteering to be at your folks' nighttime market. And, recognizing that maybe that needs to be a change, maybe not as frequent, or what was also suggested, to participate in other community events like next Saturday. And I also wanted to commend Patty, for doing such a great job, and not just for this board, but for the whole community and for all of us as beneficiaries to be thankful for what we have and what is available to us, and we still need to work it. So just thank you folks all, and sorry can't make it, conflict of schedule, but have a wonderful time. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Okay, moving back into committee report updates. Item C, Hawaiian Affairs Chair Mapuana Tector.
For month of March, we weren't able to meet, schedule conflict. So we'll resume in the month of April, the second Wednesday for Hawaiian Affairs as well as Parks and Rec. The first Thursday in April will be the Land and Water meeting. So hope you guys can attend. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to Education Chair Paul Ayo.
The first announcement I have to make is there's not going to be a education committee meeting on the 25th. We're going to try and combine us and the Waianae Neighborhood Board. I've spoken to their chairman, Mr. Kapitan. It's one of the items because it's a hot item for Waianae High School as well as Nānākuli High School. I just want to invite them and incorporate them with what we're going through right now and doing with the SRO program. But that's the first thing. The other thing I want to comment on is from the Education Committee. I've been in touch with Civil B. That's another reporting service or editorial services that they're reporting the news about our program, SRO program with Nānākuli High School, Waianae High School. A shout out to Kawi Asintin. She's in the article. Shout out to Councilwoman Tupola. A shout out to Darius Kila. A shout out to Samantha DeCourt. They're all mentioned in the article. If you haven't read it yet, Civil Beat, it's a pretty long article. And lastly, in regards to the Education Committee, that the SRO program is probably going to start, and it's going to start in August of this year. And we're not sure which school is going to get it, but Andrea put on her highlight about Nānākuli High School being the school that started the, you might say, the conversation with everybody. So Nānākuli High School should be the first school to get it. That's it, with reference to Education Committee.
Thank you. And Public Health and Safety, Board Member Ayo.
And the same thing with the Public Safety Committee, because of the training that we had, the 3 days in Kona, Hawaii, with Firewise. It's the biggest, to me, it's the biggest fire safety hazard or fire safety thing that we want to incorporate with both Waianae, us here in Nānākuli, and everybody on the west side, because as far as we know right now, other than the rain that happened a couple days ago, that Waianae or the moku of Waianae is at least at right now 90% burnable. And when I say burnable, if there was a wildfire up in a mountain, we'd be up shit creek right now in regards to evacuation and all that kind of stuff, just like Maui's one. But anyway, we want to set up a meeting with both Waianae board and our board in reference to public safety, which is fire safety. That's it.
Mahalo for the committee chairs, all of you folks submitting your agenda 6 days prior, at least 6 days prior to, so that we can get the community notifications out so that we can have participation and confirmation with the facilities. So moving forward, we will be posting that via social media. And if you're not yet signed up to receive notifications from the neighborhood board, you can go to the neighborhood board website and sign up to be and subscribe to be receiving the updates from the Nānākuli Ma'ili Neighborhood Board. Our announcements, the next regular board meeting is Tuesday, April 15th, 7 p.m. at the Nānākuli Public Library, as well as online via WebEx platform. The City and County of Honolulu and Hawaii Food Bank are partnering up with Fight Against Hunger. Neighborhood Assistant Jeff Jones will be collecting donated canned goods at the next neighborhood board meeting. Correction to the date, Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. This meeting is adjourned. Oh, one more announcement from Board Member Board Member Myers.
Thank you. One more announcement, in case anybody didn't get it. Joe Tokuda is doing a town hall in Waianae on a Saturday. It's going to be Saturday, April 5th, from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock at Waianae Coast Comprehensive Health Center, Ka'ahaina Cafe. There's a RSVP, but I think she'll just take if you walk in as well. But I encourage everyone to go so that we can ask questions about federal funds. What are some of the changes that are going to happen in our community because of federal funds, et cetera, with some of the changes that are happening on the federal level. And also maybe we can advocate for some things that we would like to have done, such as a DOI audit of DHHL or something to that effect. So that's it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further announcements from the
Yeah,
board? Board Member
I just
Texter?
wanted to highlight the library. They have March 31st. They're having their genealogy class. So as I have mentioned for Hawaiian Affairs, our Mo'oku Auhau, just to know who you are, and it's a free thing. They also will get you connected with online. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further announcements from the board? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned, 9:31